A lot of people don't realize Jess Hilarious just finessed the hell out of the whole entire Breakfast Club because there's no way she should still have a job after what she did. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? Let me say what's up to the people before we start. What's up, Winnie? What's up, Purely Plush? What's up, son? I am doing great. What's up, Grandma Joy? What's up, Joy? Who else we got here? Hold on. I know we got a few more people in here. I seen we had a hater, but they got blocked, so don't worry about them. What's up, Starneek? What's up, Jay? Who else? Peaches. What's up, DJ? Hello. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for coming. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. What's up, Ray? How you doing? Thank you for being here. All right, y'all. So as I said in the beginning of the show, Jess Hilarious finessed the Breakfast Club, and she also finessed the people. Jess knew that she was still under contract. Now, I don't know when her contract expires, but I can probably put at least $5 because I'm broke. I can put $5 on it that her contract is probably up in the next few months. I believe that the reason why Jess went live and did what she did, joyful, was because she knew that, okay, this is my replacement coming. I need to go ahead and pull some kind of stunt or do something to make sure I can secure my job. And that's what Jess did. She made sure to secure that job. Now, let me say something. If Jess didn't go live and do what she did, this probably would have been a thing like, oh, okay, they're just going to wean her off sooner or later, right? But by her going live and making it a big deal, two things. One, they're like, oh, well, if we react to it, then we look like the bad guys. If we react, we look like the bad guys. And what I mean by react, Bailey, is if they went ahead and fired her. Or did some kind of, what is it? I don't want to say retaliate, like they were trying to retaliate against her, but it would have been some kind of punishment, right? The optics wouldn't look good, right? It would not look good at all. Because granted, even though Jess Hilarious had just got there, she does have subscribers. She has people who look to her. She has fans. So at the end of the day, if they notice that Jess was all of a sudden gone with no explanation, or they reprimanded her, that's the word I was looking for, reprimanded her, Angie, she would have been all gone. Like, it would have been a war. So what they decided to do, and I bet you Charlamagne has something to do with it because you know him and Jess are actually friends. That's how she got the job. And shout out to y'all in the chat for letting me know that they were friends before she even got the job. So that lets you know the little weekly thing that they were doing with the different guest hosts. They were going to give Jess that job anyway. And also, I think Claudia too mentioned that Charlamagne and Jess were friends. So everybody kind of knew that more than likely she was going to get the job. So they're all like, okay, let's go ahead and play this up for the cameras. Let's go ahead and make this a big deal because we're going to make some money off of this drama. Because if you compare the views in the last couple of days and then take the views from Wednesday, you see that? 1.3 million, 1.1 million. Go to their views right now. Hit that like button on my video. But go to their views right now. And you'll see that usually they're in like the 100, 200, 300K range. They're not in the millions like this. Even the last interview they had with Jonathan Majors, it's about 300K. It's not in the millions. Pure T, did you get that T? VSOP, did you get that T? I'm telling you something. They knew that this was gold. This was money. Let's heighten up this drama. Remember, Jess had even said, and not in the Breakfast Club with the confrontation or whatever, but on her live that she did on her Instagram, she said, Charlamagne said, hey, go ahead and tell Loren to shut up again and feed into the drama. Remember? Charlamagne, DJ Envy, and Loren, they all know what's going on. Jess is the only one that doesn't know what's going on. Is Jess right in her feelings? Of course. Of course. Jess is right in her feelings. However, that's not the way that you handle it. Because again, the Breakfast Club is under the iHeartRadio. It's iHeartRadio and then the little different radio station. Yeah, but iHeartRadio. You can't tell me that iHeartRadio is happy about any of this stuff. However, again, optics. Optics did help Jess in this situation because any other job, she would at least at minimum been suspended. You're literally airing out your job publicly in front of everybody, and you didn't get like at least a week suspension. And again, you guys, I'm not saying that I want her to lose her job, but at the end of the day, son, like, I mean, she would have minimum been suspended. There's no way in hell that it would just been nah, it's okay, who cares? No. That would have been something where you would have been reprimanded for, either let go or, suspended. Now, I will say this. I think the postpartum thing might have helped. Again, she just never said she's suffering from postpartum. Never. People are just assuming. I do believe whether or not Jess was pregnant previously or not, I feel like she would still have the same sentiment. But again, I think with the whole maternity leave and then coming back, the way it would have looked like, oh, you guys got rid of a woman because she had a baby. Let's put it out there, Charisse. Flawed, not fake. Unfortunately, when women have babies, they're looked at as expendable. I hate to put it like that, but that's the way they look at it. Again, we have made progress and change, and it seemed like mothers are more respected a little bit, but we're not as progressive as we think. And I'm talking about holistically as a people. We're not as progressive, especially in a business standpoint. Us, you and me, yeah, we know a woman should be allowed to have her baby, still be a working mother. We get the concept, right? But as far as businesses, the business entertainment industry, do they care about women? The entertainment and business, do they care about women? The corporate world, do they care about women? No. She's black. She would have been let go if she hadn't had that baby. Right. You know, the optics for them, even though Jess did show her ass, the optics for them, it didn't look good. And we have to say something too, because I know a lot of people say, I like Jess Hilarious, she's funny, she's talented, and I'm not denying that she's not. However, being a social media personality and doing radio is two different things. I think a lot of people are under the impression that a podcast is just like doing radio. It's not, you guys. Doing a podcast and doing radio is not the same thing, but I think people conflate it because a lot of things are video and audio, where Originally, when you had a podcast or radio, that's not visual. It's just audio. Now you have to mix everything in and get that market for the visual as well. So it's a little different. Um, AT2, have you ever worked in corporate? They would never fire or suspend her immediately. That's a lawsuit. Trust me, those executives already have a plan and timeline of how it went. Exactly, DJ. Exactly. No, you're saying what I was getting to that point. But exactly, it had to be a natural transition. Thank you, Purely. See, Purely Plush agrees with me. It had to be a natural transition into fire. I hate to put it like that. A natural transition. So yeah, they gave Loren a produce, made her a producer, but also she's a producer slash on air talent. So that would let you know sooner or later she would come in the mix and kind of push Jess out. And again, it didn't help that Jess had an attitude during the Wendy Williams. She was just interview. She was just scrolling on her phone. She didn't even care about the interview. She wasn't even engaged. She didn't even ask Wendy anything. Hell, when they do other interviews, Jess isn't really engaged in the interviews. It's really Charlemagne or Loren. DJ Envy just kind of introduces the person. But DJ Envy has seniority. He's been there for a long time. So that's why he's still there. He's not losing his job, y'all. I would say Jess is more valuable than DJ Envy, but he's not losing his job. You see what they try to do to Tamika from Escape. They wanted to kick her out. Yeah, it's still like that, you know? And again, like I said, I am very progressive. I believe that a woman should be able to be a mother and also work. I believe that, you guys. I want y'all to know when I'm having these conversations, I'm covering the whole spectrum. I'm not saying that women can't have it all, but you guys still face obstacles. What's up, Miss Kitty? Hello, Mimi. How you doing? Yeah, women still face obstacles. Like at the end of the day, that's the truth. I hate to say it, but it is. It's still a thing. I heard something about her being late, but they never mentioned that, so I didn't mention it. But I could see probably. I mean, if your friend helps you get the job, you probably not really caring about what time you get there. I mean, she said the place. Jess even said herself, the place is like high school. Do we think that they really cared about? I don't know. Again, that's speculative, but I can imagine. She said it's like high school, and then them having this conversation live for everybody to see. Yeah, it lets you know it's not professional. This should have been behind the scenes. We should have never known about it. But again, Jess is the one that put it out there, right? So it had to be some kind of addressed publicly. But it seemed like the issue was not resolved before they came in and really dealt with it. It was all like, hey, we're gonna address this on live and or when we go on radio, and that was it. They didn't have a conversation beforehand on like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that we resolve the issue now, and then we'll come on radio and discuss everything when we resolve. The issue was not resolved, and I still don't know if it's resolved. I seen that little clip like you guys did on Friday with Jess trying to help Loren find a man. And then even Charlemagne said, oh, you trying to get Loren knocked up so she can then leave or something like, or go on maternity leave or something like that. So again, they issues are not resolved. This is more like, okay, we're professionals. We're just going to go ahead and just put our ish to the side and pretend like everything's cool. Also, too, with Jess, I know what they thought. Like I said, the whole podcast thing, they wanted more of a personality. Angela Yee was not a personality. However, Angela Yee did her job. I don't think necessarily you need to be a big personality to make it work. Because Angela Yee is proof of that. Angela Yee did seem engaged in her job, though. She did seem like she did her research. She did seem that she knew what the topics were about. She did seem that she was very prepared. This is why they could trust her with having her own show. Because let's be honest, at first I didn't expect Angela Yee to be the one to first leave. You know, it was rumored that it was going to be Charlemagne, right? But when they can trust you and you're dependable, they'll take that over having a big personality. And maybe right now, what they needed was someone to deliver the news how it's supposed to be delivered. Yes, Jess with the mess. Okay, it's entertaining, it's funny. However, Charlemagne is messy too. So, like I said, Jess and Charlemagne, they're really one and the same. And so, even though Jess is telling us, "Oh, well, y'all hired me for Jess and the mess, and now y'all got her doing it," blah blah blah. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist. Okay, even if that's true, right? Let's say that's true. They just hired her to do just with the mess, and that's it. Your predecessor is the person before you, right? You know I didn't finish college. They talk about Angela Yee. Angela Yee was able to do it all. So there's no way in hell that you didn't expect that, okay, you're going to have to read. You're going to have to look up the topics. You're going to have to do your research. There's no way in hell that she did not expect that she was taking Angela Yee's spot. So yeah, you would have to work. And I'm not saying it doesn't take a lot to do just with the mess, but if you just giving us like some kind of little comedy bit, okay, they could get anybody to do that. You know, is that something special? No, anybody can make you laugh. Yes, he is. You're right about that, Grandma Joy. You ain't lying. Exactly. Yeah. So Jeff, I said that she barely knows what's going on. She barely speaks during the interviews. Not really engaged in it. She doesn't care. Ooh, you might be right about that. You might be right about that. Yeah. What's up, Marlon? Ultimate TV, you don't agree with that. Okay. And like I said, I love when you guys don't agree with me. Like I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. It did sound like it. And again, I get that. Okay, where is this girl coming from? What like why is this girl here? I'm not understanding why now there's four of us. I was under the impression it would just be three of us. And you being blindsided by them adding this other chick here. Okay, I get it. I understand it. However, I would then be all like, okay, maybe I need to step up my game and really show them, like, hey, I'm really about this. I'm going to be more engaged. I'm going to do my research on the topics. It's like when Jess came back, she's winging it, you know? What's up, music and mental health? Thank you for being here. Jealousy to me. Yeah, I would have to say that's true. Jess Hilarious literally seems that she's just winging it. I don't think she actually, I don't think she cares. Again, there's a difference between somebody who got the job and somebody who earned the job. Jess got the job. Loren earned the job. I'm gonna repeat that again because y'all don't be understanding. Oh, that's true, Winnie. You're right about that. But I'm gonna repeat that one more time. Jess got the job. Loren earned the job. Put a one in the chat if you agree with me. Let's do a 30-second countdown. The people have spoken. Let's be clear. Jess got the job. Loren earned the job. And granted, here's the thing too. I'm not even saying, oh, it's because Jess had her baby. I'm not even saying that, y'all. Eventually, they would have noticed. I feel that Jess going on maternity leave saved her job. Her going on maternity leave saved her job. Because I feel like if she would have worked all those, I think she was gone for like three months or something like that. If she had worked that whole time, Jess would have exposed herself. She already kind of exposed herself. I mean, the whole, oh, she can't read and all this other stuff, that's been a thing. People have been saying that since she really got the job, right? But she would have been exposed more. Her coming back and after having the baby, it kind of gave her an excuse. It gave her an excuse to, okay, well, maybe she's just trying to get in the swing. She just had a baby, and now she's picking up more dates for her comedy. So you got a job doing radio where you're supposed to be there, but you're still getting doing more shows. You're getting more dates for your comedy. How that work? You know, has anybody asked that? Like, how that work? Jess knew what she was doing by going to the internet because she comes from the internet. I'm going to make a spectacle, make them, make them address it. That way, I'll be able to safely secure my job. And the internet was like her security blanket. I'm going to come to the internet and then make them have to respond. Now, possibly Jess could have been talking to them. And well, she said like she'd been asking them what's going on and stuff. And they just kind of been ignoring her. So I believe her when she says that. But she forced their hand literally to address the issue. And she knew that she had the public on her side. I think honestly, if she didn't do this, more than likely she would have got let go. I think now they're going to see how it works, and then eventually maybe they will just let her contract expire, or she will just end up leaving. But they're probably just hoping that she just ends up leaving, so then they don't look like the bad guy. And that possibly could, oh Lord, what the yo, comedian Miss Lips. Yo, this is a Christian channel. Come on now. But here are the views. 1.3 million, 1.1 million. 1.3 million, 1.1 million. The other one, when they had the callers come in, it was like 700. They had a whatchamacallit. They haven't had a video that got 1 million in a minute. So again, able to monetize off of this. They made their money. They knew what they were doing. Thank you, Miss Lips, for being here. I appreciate you. I just don't want to get my video flagged. Yo, we love everybody over here. So, you better show them what you're working with. We ain't mad at you, Miss Lips. I just got to protect the channel. Right, Mimi? Hell, right now what I'm going through, I know about a good internet beef. Unfortunately, I got one going on myself, but hell, But again, you guys, I was all like, Jess knew what she was doing. She wanted to finesse the people, get get the public on her side. That way, she can conjure up all this drama, and then she'll be able to save her job. She was smart. That lady is smart. I can't be mad at her because again, you got a job where you work Monday through Friday in the morning. However, you taking on more tour dates, so then you can't be there. But then you mad about this other girl coming in and oh well, I put her there. I said this and that. Blah blah blah. What's up, Angela? Thank you for being here. Shout out to Mims. But again, you want to say I put you there. Okay, Jess. Yeah, you might have recommended her, but at the end of the day, iHeart, they really put her there. You made a suggestion. I don't want to say you put her there. You made a suggestion, and they liked your suggestion, so they went with it. Because Jess has no power. I think, she was sounding a little cocky, like, I put her there. I wanted her to be there. Well, hell, if you had that much power and authority, you would have been able to dictate that Loren would not be on air and still in your segment just with the mess. Like, if you really had that, if we really want to be honest, if you really had that power, it would have went a lot different. And you would have had some influence. No, your influence isn't that strong. And again, we have to remember, I'm going to end on this note because I know I'm going to get people that hate me. Jess even finessed her way into the Breakfast Club. Because remember, it was in December, she announced that she had the job, right? But then she didn't start until after February. And remember, everybody was all like, where's Jess? Where's Jess? Even Charlemagne and DJ Envy did a segment talking about, oh, we don't know where Jess is. We don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden in February, they finally figured out, okay, she's going to be here in February. But Jess even said that her contract wasn't right. They were trying to lowball her. But yet, you made that announcement without, who announces they got the job before the job announces it? Excuse me. And especially something like that, because you would have felt stupid if they were like, you know what, we're just going to go with somebody else. I felt for her. Imagine having postpartum and your buddy is telling you all good. When you return, it's not all good. Right. And Angela, and I did say, her sentiment, what she is saying, she is right for the way she feels. Now, the way she handled it is the wrong part. They playing with us, y'all. I agree, Miss Lips, they playing with us. Because again, let's say this. What if this was all their plan? Like, hey, we got to conjure this beef up and then the views will be great. Because I do feel like the Breakfast Club feels like, okay, we had this little drama. We were able to get views. I'm sure the ratings on the radio went up. But that is not going to last because people are going to want to come back for the Mets. They want to see, okay, is Jess and Loren, are they really going to get along? After their last couple of shows, we see that everything's fine, or at least they pretended everything is fine. We ain't gonna care. Monday, it's gonna be back to normal. We ain't gonna care. And I hate to say, Angela Yee's influence and impact on that show is missed. That's not the same Breakfast Club. Let me ask you guys before we get out of here. We'll do a 30-second countdown. Do you agree that the Breakfast Club is not the same? Yes or no? Yeah, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. It's totally different. I feel that they might have had some regret letting Angela Yee get her own show, and they might have felt like, damn, maybe we should have kept her around, offered her more money, and not let her get her own show. Now, I'm not going to say Angela Yee's show is bad or anything like that. I think it does well, right? It does well, but it's not the same as when she was with the Breakfast Club. The energy is totally different. Oh, Tasha said you stopped listening. Okay. What's up, Hello Kitty? The Ghetto Club. The Ghetto Club. Kamari said no comment. Yeah, I think they should have. You are right about that. You are right about that. I think they should have just been a duo, DJ Envy and Charlamagne, and just did guest host. Because hell, with Lauren there, that's what they're doing, right? What's up, Timothy Blaine? Shout out to Uncle Tim. Shout out to the original Beef Sector, not this new one. I don't know what's going on. She got tired of them. Yeah. And granted, who wouldn't want their own show? Because again, Angela Yee probably felt like her voice was being overpowered. She, like I said, she wasn't the biggest personality. And then she also didn't like that people would hold her accountable for what the men said. That's one of the things, the controversies after she left. She said she didn't like that they would hold her accountable for what the men would say. I get it. Yeah, she does have a great personality. Yeah, I was just saying she doesn't have a big personality. Like she's not a character. Can Angela do both? Well, I know they come on like after. As I understand, they come on afterwards. I mean, well, Angela comes on after the Breakfast Club, so possibly. But again, if I'm gonna do two shows, then I need two show money. So I highly doubt that Angela, unless Angela's show get canceled, I highly doubt she would try to go back. Nah, I like the fact she's well. Yes, exactly, and that's what you need. You need somebody who's well rounded. Jess with the mess, Jess Hilarious. She is not well rounded. Oh, a couple of y'all said they should have hired T.S. Madison. Hey, why not? Claudia would have worked. Yeah, I think they went with wanting to get a big personality. They kind of wanted to create like an experience like the Joe Budden podcast. You know, Joe Budden show. They wanted to create something like that. But again, the Breakfast Club is radio. It's totally different. Podcasts and radio are not the same. Yeah. And then also too, like I said earlier, I know a few of y'all just came in the room. Please hit that like button. But what I was saying before we, well, not before we got into it, but I was saying that we know now Jess was friends with Charlemagne, so more than likely she was always going to get that job. She was always going to get it. Claudia was the best fit. Okay, shout out to Claudia. She probably watching. And she did see that other video, and she's seen all of y'all dragging her, but she wasn't mad at me. Please also don't forget some people on the internet only heard about the Breakfast Club because of Jess. And I respect I see that. I definitely can take that into consideration. I never heard of Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy because of Jess. Okay. And I think, and also too, I think her being a personality from Instagram, I think that also helped in that way too. But I think people, I don't want to say people don't care about the news, but at least you have to be able to deliver it in a way where people understand. And I think when she would deliver the news, it's not that she's not the best reader. I think it wasn't really detailed, or people didn't like, she couldn't relay it back to us and make it make sense for us. Just like when I report on things, like, I'm not the best reader. I'm not, I didn't finish college. I didn't do all that, right? But I know when I deliver something, I have to make sure that you guys understand. This is why I do the 30-second countdowns and stuff, because I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. I know some of y'all be like, I hate it. And thank you, Mimi. I appreciate the super chat. Okay. Come back and make it good. Ooh, okay. I got to tell Claudia about that. They should have hired Loren before Jess. Right. Because for those of you who don't know, Loren was a part of the audition process too. It was Loren, Claudia, Jason Lee. It was a lot of people. A lot of people did audition. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Purely Plush. Breakfast Club is the biggest urban radio show. I think they were trying to make it a target a younger demo and the comedic fan base, but not all followers are exactly. That I knew what they were trying to do. Like I said, they wanted to make it more like the podcast, and it's just not that. It wasn't going to work for them in the same way. Because let's be honest, what are the most popular podcasts? It's mostly sports and comedians. The Cam Newtons, the Shannon Sharps, Andrew. I don't like this guy, but Andrew Schultz. Um, Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan ain't even funny, but he's supposed to be a comedian. But anyway, yeah. So you have those kind of people, right? They wanted to fit in that lane. No, I didn't. I didn't finish college. Yeah, it's not that. Stephen A. Smith, exactly. Those are the people that's popular. That's what they wanted, and um, radio is different from podcasts. People like live shows. Corey Holcomb. How can I forget Corey Holcomb? Of course, yeah. And I don't think Corey. I think I said this already, but I'll say it again. I don't think Corey started this drama. I don't. Corey did not start this drama. Corey might have heightened up the drama. It made it apparent that, hey, I noticed something is going on. This was somebody more than just the comment section saying it. Corey basically echoed what everybody was saying. That's all he did. He didn't say anything new. But because Corey has an audience, this is why it hit so hard. But didn't say anything. He speaks like, I'm an intellectual. I know how to talk to white people. Yeah. Thank you, son. Thank you for that. Hip hop podcast shows just do too much. The ignorance and the drama is annoying. You're right. You're right. I have to agree with you. I don't want to say, I don't want to blanket them all, but I will say it's a lot of ignorant shit. We ain't gonna lie, right? We ain't gonna lie about that. They need a feminine voice on the show. Just voice sound. Y'all read Zard. I ain't gonna get in trouble. Uh, uh, Tar Wolf. I'm not gonna get in trouble. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tar Wolf. Read Tar Wolf comment, but I ain't gonna lie and say I didn't laugh at it. It was too. Tar Wolf said it was too much masculine energy on the Breakfast Club, so they had to put a woman in there. That's what it. They had to add a feminine touch. Well, they got Charlemagne on there. Charlemagne ain't the feminine touch. I feel like Charlemagne is the feminine touch. That's where they got it. I don't know why I'm doing this when I say feminine, but y'all know. It's funny that she read the comments. That's weird. Yeah. And I think it also has to do too with when you do social media, you do have to read the comments. Now, do I read all the comments? No. Because I know if it's something negative, I try to avoid it. If I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash, I'll be like, yeah, I ain't going to read that. But the comments do help you. Okay, because he's super sassy, right? They that's Let me get out of here because you know the haters gonna come for me as soon as they read all this shit y'all saying. But anyway, you guys, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate y'all for being here, and let me know what you think about it, about all this. Do you think that Jess finessed the Breakfast Club to keep her job? It's a fair question because definitely I think either, yeah, she tried to finesse them by making this a big deal and going public. And then two, just like a lot of y'all said, this could just be a plot and they really could just be playing this up for the clicks and views. But I promise you, it will not last